for? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horse.
Bang! Hot dog!
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. The show
Thanks.
is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and our guest today is little Toby Walker. How you doing, Toby?
I'm doing good, Ralph. It's good to meet you.
What's the name of that tune?
That is an instrumental that I wrote. It's called Swing Bean.
Swing.
You know, if you're hungry, you can either have string beans or you can have swing beans. Well, that's Swing Bean.
That gave me the impression of a Speedy West
Yeah. Well,
type number.
Well, Western swing was a big influence at times. You know, listen to Bob Wills and those guys. So all that little, you know, that all had that influence in there.
Where'd you grow up listening to that?
In the land of the blues, Long Island, New York. It's kind of funny, but I just, you know, the blues was as close as the record store, you know. So I just started listening to the
Yes,
Rolling
indeed.
Stones and that started getting me into deeper blues and deeper blues and deeper blues until I started finding out all the old acoustic guys, and I started listening to them a whole lot.
Why don't you give us another number?
Sure. This song that I'm going to play, I went down into Mississippi. Actually, I spent a whole lot of time traveling around through the Deep South, hanging out with people like Jameson Thomas, Eugene Powell, and Jack Owens, and I was in Leland, Mississippi, and I was hanging out with a guy named Jameson Thomas, and he taught me a song called Beefsteak When I'm Hungry. And all the guitar part I'm going to play is that what James showed me, and then the slide guitar part I'm going to play. I recorded this with the guy Bob Margolin of the old Muddy Waters band, and Bob did the slide parts, which are very reminiscent of Muddy Waters. So I'm just going to combine the whole thing together. So this is Beefsteak When I'm Hungry. Give me beefsteak when I'm hungry, and give me whiskey when I'm dry. Give me beefsteak when I'm hungry, and give me whiskey when I'm dry. Give me women when I'm living, and give me heaven when I die. I think I hear that old whistle when she blows. I think I hear that old whistle when she blows. You know, it sounds just like my little baby's getting on board. Give me beefsteak when I'm hungry, and give me whiskey when I'm dry. Give me beefsteak when I'm hungry, and give me whiskey when I'm dry. Give me women when I'm living, and give me heaven when I die.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Thank you very much. So I learned that from a guy, like I said, Jameson Thomas. I found out that he was still alive from an actual book that I had called Blues from the Delta. And I just went down into Leland, Mississippi, and I looked for the guy, and I found him. And I mean, it wasn't too tough either. You know, it was just going into the main part of Leland, which is, the main part of Leland is about the size of this studio. So it wasn't too tough to try and find where James was hanging out. He was actually hanging out at an old chicken joint. So, because when I got to the chicken joint, he wasn't there, but they gave me directions to his house, and they said, just go to this house, that you make a right where the old water tower is, and you'll see this big white Cadillac pulled up in front of the house. And I looked at it and said, what's this guy, I thought he was poor, you know, he has a big white Cadillac, and the guy turned around and he says, well, it hasn't run in 15 years. It was just sitting in front of his house. So that's what I found him, and he had taught me a bunch of things, but he also taught me that to sound as much like yourself as possible. So it was a valuable lesson you learn from some of these guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
True life stories.
True life stories, yes, yes. They don't get any truer than that. So let's see now. Any other questions you got for me?
Nope.
No? Oh, this is one of those I'll think of the question and answer it type things. All right. Okay. So Toby,
What would you like to tell us?
well, this I'll talk about this next guitar here. Do something like that. This guitar here is a National Steel guitar, and it works wonders with cameras because I could just basically throw all the cameras completely off in the room. But this is a song that I wrote. It's called "With a Southern Cross the Dog." But I'll talk about this guitar, for instance. It's all, metal, and it's got 3 little cones on the inside. I don't know if you can get a close-up at that thing, but there's 3 cones on the inside of this thing, and the strings come down, and they create a lot of tension, and it resonates. It's called a resonator guitar. The song I'm going to play is called "Where the Southern Crossed the Dog." It's in reference to an old historical story where a man named W.C. Handy, around the turn of the century, was waiting for a train in a station called Tutwiler in Mississippi, and it was in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden he starts hearing the most eerie sound coming from around the little depot, and it was a man playing a bottleneck guitar. Of course, he didn't know it was a bottleneck guitar. The man was holding a knife and playing it against the strings, and he kept singing this song about where the Southern crossed the dog, where the Southern crossed the dog. And what he really meant was it was a railroad crossing a couple of stations away in Moorhead, Mississippi. So W.C. Handy started writing blues songs as a result of hearing that. Now, we don't know what that song sounded like, and we don't know why the guy was singing it, but I sort of come up with my own version of what that may have been and maybe why he was singing that. So I'm going to start. Just picture it's a hot Mississippi night, 2 o'clock in the morning. Just like showers of rain. Now I'm alone, far from home, and I'm waiting on a midnight train where the Southern crossed the dog. And I had me a lady in Memphis. She used to buy me fine champagne. But I shot the man that had the winning hand, and now I'm waiting on a midnight train where the Southern crossed the dog. Well, I had me a diamond watch piece. It hung on a golden chain. I gambled it away by the break of day, and now I'm waiting on a midnight train where the Southern crossed the dog. I tried to drown away my sorrows. I tried to drown away my pain. Too much drinking and not enough thinking while I'm waiting on a midnight train where the southern cross the dawn. Thank you.
All right, all right.
Thanks.
Let's tell folks how they can get more information about your recordings and your touring schedule.
They can they can email me at ltw@littletobywalker.com. And once they email me, they can I can answer their emails if I happen to be near a computer or somebody that has a computer. But I will be more than happy. Actually, I'm going to be moving to northern New Jersey, so I'll probably have access to all those things a lot easier than I do now. But ltw@littletobywalker.com.
And they can also look for information on your recordings at
littletobywalker.com. By strange coincidence, yes. littletobywalker.com would be the website. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
What you got for us now?
This is a tune that I was tooling around through Virginia, just over the North Carolina border, and I heard about this guy named Turner Fodrell. Turner Fodrell owned a store, and Turner, I heard, was a great guitar picker, and I wanted to visit him and see what I could learn from him. And I called him. I told him I was going to be coming. I was on the way. And it was funny because when I got to his store, I had this old beat-up guitar case, and I came walking into the front of the store with this old beat-up case, and he was sitting behind the counter, and he just looked at me as I came in. And he may have thought something else, because he got up and went up to the cash register and opened up the cash register, taking money out of the cash register and putting it in a brown paper bag. And I'm standing there with the guitar case in my hand. You know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I figured maybe he got the wrong impression. And, and he was just, you know, sort of look, and I thought, well, wait a minute, I'm Toby Walker. I came to visit you. And he says, oh, I know. And he keeps putting money in the bag. And then he pushed the bag across the counter. He says, just take this for a second. I don't know whether to look up at cameras to see if I'm going to be arrested or something, but I grabbed the money, and he walked around the counter, and we got into his rebuilt Model T Ford, and we drove up a 2-lane highway. He had to make a bank deposit. That's all it was. And here I'm thinking maybe he thinks I was going to rob him or something like that. But anyway, we got back to the store afterwards, and we hung out in this little general store that sold like pocket combs and, I don't know, Wonder Bread and paint cans all in the same aisle. Yeah, mousetrap. I mean, it was just this mishmash of things all over the place. But we picked guitar like most of that morning, and then a whole bunch of neighbors were coming in and customers, and they were going back and getting friends, and before you know it, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we had about 40, 50 people in the store hanging out watching us pick guitar. So it was a lot of fun. And this is an instrumental that I wrote called Turner's Retreat, and I dedicate this to Turner Fodrell. Thanks.
Mighty
Thanks a
fine
lot.
picking, mighty fine.
Thanks it. Thanks a lot. Thanks a whole lot. So that's kind of what this National Steel guitar can do when it puts its mind to doing it, you know.
Where did you say Turner lived?
Turner lived just over the North Carolina border in Virginia, about in the middle of the state, because I remember I was coming up from Durham and Winston-Salem area, and I crossed over North Carolina into Virginia, and that's where he was. And I forget the exact name of the road. He had a number. That's all I know. There was a number to it. There's a, I spent some time hanging out and trying to figure out a lot of these old blues songs. One of the guys that I really enjoyed listening to way back when was a guy named Charlie Patton. And Charlie Patton was he lived on a plantation, but he never really did any work because he had a talent, you know. And a lot of people think, I think it was his guitar playing that it was talent, but I think he had a talent for living off of women that would support him. So, but he had this song called Pony Blues, and the original way he did it is just like, but I sort of just played it a little bit my own way, so that's what I'm going to do is Pony Blues. I'm gonna hitch up my pony and saddle up my black mare. I'm gonna hitch up my pony and saddle up my black mare. I'm gonna find that little gal in the world somewhere. Now sitting, hello Central, what's the matter with your line? I said, hello Central, what's the matter with your line? You know the storm came in late last night, it blew the wires down. I got me a brand new Shetland man, she's already trained. I got a brand new Shetland, she's already trained. Yeah, and I hop up in the saddle and I pull up on the reins. Saddle up my black man. I got a brand new pony. I'm gonna saddle up my black man. I'm gonna find that little gal in the world somewhere. In the world somewhere. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's just a...
Yes, sir.
But I think I kept on saying about doing things a certain way. One of the things that I learned from a lot of these people down south was that they did songs in their own way. And the guy named Eugene Powell told me to do that. He said, Toby, learn from us, or learn from me, he said, and then do it the way you can do it. So that's what I want to sort of like do as the last song here right now. This is an old traditional song called I Know Your Rider. But a lot of my influences weren't just old blues guys. They even were jazz guys, and they were even rock and rollers like the Allman Brothers. So this is my way of doing I Know Your Rider. Yes, I know you're right. Gonna miss me when I'm gone. I said, I know you're right. I'm gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss your daddy from rolling in your arms. I laid down last night, I could not get my rest. I laid down last night, I could not get my rest. My mind kept wandering like the wild geese in the west.